Love this podcast? Support this show through the Acast supporter feature. It's up to you how much you give, and there's no regular commitment. Just click the link in the show description to support now.
The following podcast is a Vasilis Skarlias production.
Hello everyone, I'm Kennedy.
And I'm Vasilis.
We run Changemaker Z, a student-run initiative that aims to empower, educate, and connect Gen Zers interested in entrepreneurship.
We interview teenagers with impactful projects and create resources to help you change the world. If they can do it, so can you.
On this podcast, we discuss the logistics of creating different types of projects with Gen Zers who have already done it. We will leave our social media and website information in the description.
Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Gen Z to Rise. Today we are with the CEO and founder of the society. For the past 10 years of building the society, they recognize the value of social networks comes from the content users create. Their platform provides the tools to turn expertise and experience into income. Ewane, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Tell us what sparked the creation of the society 10 years ago.
Probably just I think what was going on around me and my friends was we were trying to do things in a new and original way. And that just it just kind of chose us. Like people wanted to hang out with us and we started doing little get-togethers and events. And then we had people doing music and film and, just everyone. What kind of brought everybody together was just like the love everyone had for one another. So now all those people are, deeper in that world. For me, it's just I focus mostly on like technology and health. And so that's where I'm at. That's my role.
We have covered partially what is the society's mission, but what is the society?
So we're really creating a system for people to be able to upgrade their lives, like kind of like how we upgrade our iPhones, right? Like just really be able to look at what usually happens in like the health world, which most of my family is in health. So like I got to see it from the inside all these years. And I see that like the model seems to be broken where it's like the people who are, giving us all this health stuff don't necessarily seem that healthy themselves. So it was like, how do we create a system for everyone to be healthy with one another? And so that's why we're working on making it fun, because right now it's not that fun to be healthy. So, but obviously with this time period we're going through now, it's a really important time period to do that. And specifically because there was a moment that I had at like a thing I got invited to, like a leadership thing. And it was, they had like these like computers, kind of like the iPhone where it like scans your body, but this one was more for health. And so whenever I stepped up, right, there started to be kind of an issue with the system. And the reason is because some of these systems that are created right now have like biases in them based off of like what's been put in them. So they hadn't, dealt with like something that had my skin tone before. And so that was actually more of like an opportunity or a possibility to be able to like provide that to that group of people. So that's what we're working on.
That's amazing. And like, I keep finding out more and more things where it's like things weren't built for Black people. Like, I don't know if you heard of the hand sanitizer or stuff like that. They just don't recognize Black skin tones. And that's really worrying, first of all, as a Black woman.
I always notice when people don't have lotion in their bathrooms. I'm like, I'm washing my hands afterwards. Like, I need some lotion. If you don't have lotion, I know that y'all ain't used to having no Black people around.
Oh my God, that is so true. And you were talking a little bit about health. Is the society focused just on physical health, or do you tap into the mental side too?
Yeah, holistic. Like, so mental, so physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. Those are like the four like pillars that we focus on as far as like, and then everything in between. So like more like a circle model. So somebody who's comes in and you analyze everything. not just like one thing or the other.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love that.
But being able to do it on your phone, yeah, being able to do it on your phone where you can just do it like for yourself.
Yeah, it's so accessible too. Okay, and so just a little disclaimer for our listeners: this is not an affiliation, but an interesting project instead. How can users connect directly with the influencers and experts they value by purchasing video calls or joining in exciting events taking place around the world?
So man, I mean, it's just really one of those things that now with the pandemic, I was in situations where it was like, okay, like I said, most of my family is in healthcare, but like everything is still very like fax machines and like all kinds of like it's just like, man, like we're way past that. Like you can just make some apps and it just will work a lot easier. And so that's what I've been focused on, just going full force at that, is like showing people that there's an easier way to do these things. And so that's really what we're going for. Like E is for ease, I tell people sometimes. That's why like when my friends call me E, I'm like, okay, E is for ease, because I'm trying to do it the easy way, chill on a beach in California or something, like just relaxed. Or maybe Florida.
And you said you have a rewards program. Could you explain to us how you reward your users for their valuable contributions?
Yeah, so it has to do with the engagement. So like we're really looking to base all the tracking off of like just like the energy itself. So like the amount of output that somebody puts, you can kind of see by somebody's like health scan, like how much. So because a lot of the times people get into issues where it's like, oh, this person did more, this person. It's hard to be able to track it for health reasons, and so it's becoming easier to be able to do that. So that is how we like incentivize people by giving them rewards to do the actions that are in best for their health at that particular moment. Because it's like we always have choices. Like there's like these crossroads of like, okay, like I could do it this way or I could do it this way, and we're gonna like put those together where it's like taste like it tastes great, it feels great, but also is healthy at the same time. So to do that, that's like the engagement, events and things of this nature, concerts, festivals, where people can like be part of the network, and create their own networks and systems and things of that nature. We're not really looking to necessarily um, like the laws will change, like people will update them over time.
That's amazing. Yeah. And so, who is eligible to join?
Everyone is. Yeah, that's the thing about healthcare. It's actually everyone. So merging that with social equity, as we like to call it, like is what we're looking to do. So yeah, like at this stage, even I think anyone can be able to sign up for the beta.
I can't wait to test it out. So, do you plan to extend your media and conference type calls as well, or even to host major events?
Oh, yes, 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 yes. Like, so as far as the media and conference type calls, like right now we're building one-to-one calls, and then the next stage is group calls. Because one, it like lowers the amount for everyone when a group of people does it. But also, essentially, the cool thing is that the technology we're looking to just get, have people own their own little like record of what they did, right? So all of that can be used for eventually for it not to have to be like actual trainers, but just more of like an AI interaction, like an avatar that you're kind of like speaking with, that like is, and it's like more like a game, right? Like that's really what we're looking to do, is we're in the virtual world of like, now with the iPhones, with like all the cool little things you can do with it and like make changes into to images and stuff like that is fun. And it goes, in all ages. And then also the ability to kind of like be active, right? Like kind of like what Pokemon Go was, where like things are, you might have something here that like is different over here depending on the location that you're at.
Okay, so what makes your initiate your I'm sorry. Okay. What makes your initiative different? Like for example, why should we do society instead of Skillshare, for example?
Okay, yeah, I'd say that the biggest thing is just the fact that we are, we're not aiming for people to necessarily be anything with what their personal relationship with what they're learning is all we're really concerned about, right? Like there's a lot of other type of education platforms and things that people do. This is more of like a self-learning thing, which I feel like is most represented by like, the arts and like sports and arts and things of this nature. Right. Like it's like these people are just like very focused on like their own craft and like their own whatever. And so we kind of believe that people can heal themselves. Right. Like you're just on a process, like you learn it as you go along. If you're focused on like your body and like everything else and having everything in alignment. Right. Then like, it's easy. Like I said, we're looking for it to be easy, more like,
Easy.
Yeah, easy.
There's nothing wrong with being easy. And like, I kind of like, how the main focus of a lot of these programs is like to sell you something. And I like that you were just kind of focused on like doing it on your own, because you can. And when you started building the society, what was your background and what did you want to accomplish with its creation? I think you kind of touched on this a little bit.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah, it had been in sports, and just like competitions all the way around, like science fairs and, like running for like 8th grade class president. Like there was a lot of like little things that I feel like was kind of like, okay, when I looked at people as like a whole, and then like certain other people came around me who were also like, had all their own, like that same perspective from like a different vantage point. And so that's really what we were like, okay, well, if we just came together in a more like tribal sense, because I think that, my family is super tribal, like gang, kind of like not really gang, but like they act that way, right? Like they're very protective of one another, or we are very protective of one another. So I think that's cool. I think that's cool as long as it's done in a healthy way. And that's what we're looking to do as a society.
That's really cool. So what does the future look like for the society and its goals?
Okay. Okay. So yeah, right now we're focusing on live video. So the live video is what's going to be like picking up on people's, like a mirror of themselves, and then they now have a record on their phone of like where they were at that day, like again, like holistically. And and then they can improve themselves over time because they have their own numbers. Most of the time, people would improve their numbers if they had them, right? Like it's just most of the time we're not really aware of what's going on. And then as far as goals, we're running a crowdfunding campaign. So like kind of like Kickstarter, Indiegogo campaign for people to be able to be part of this, right? Like have like a membership. So that's coming soon as well. That's the next goal, is to raise capital that way so that we involve like a whole crowd of people, as opposed to like necessarily like going and trying to get money from like someone who is more, has maybe a lot more money. So again, like I said, we're focusing on a certain type of demographic for sure. Like our avatar, we call Ebony, but it's like private stuff right now because we're trying to like build it to where, we have a certain amount of protection around what we're doing specifically, right? Because there's a lot of other people aiming at other populations.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what makes it unique. That's what we have to like stick to, regardless. Somebody called it. Somebody the other day, this guy who was investing in this, they called it Wakanda, but I told them that it was a society. So
Wakanda. That's really exciting, and I kind of like, I don't know if you have like an Apple Watch or whatever, but it's like so fun to fill out those rings,
Yeah.
for the day.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
Exactly.
It's like gives you like a little bit of motivation.
Right. Exactly. That's all we need is a little bit of motivation and inspiration.
Motivation. Well, I think today's episode came to an end. Thank you so much for coming to speak with us today. We were informed about the society's mission and its means. while exploring the importance of having a deep and meaningful contact with people that you feel like are your mentors. Thank you so much, Ewane, for being with us today.
Thank you. Thank you all for inviting me. It's actually been super awesome. So let's all keep having, I guess, as much zeal, for life as I feel like people have now, because this is all like good stuff, ideas and stuff. I mean, we're the ones that are going to create all these things. So,
all right. Until next time, don't forget to change the world. Thank you guys for listening. We hope you enjoyed the conversation. We had such a great time. Make sure to leave us a review. If you want more Changemakers content, you can follow us on Instagram at Gen Zers to Rise and on Facebook at ChangemakersZ.